What up, player? It's your boy Luze, and I'm back with another review. Yet another chapter out of the Art of Seduction, and we are talking about curating a poetic presence. Now, oftentimes familiarity breeds discontent. A lot of people will be bored with you if you're just hanging around and not doing much. Now, if you can curate a big personality, either way, it can even be a terrible personality, but it has to be a big personality on the positive side or the negative side that can make you larger than life. The only thing that is going to look terrible either way is mediocrity. Now, if you're sitting around someone all the time and you're being mediocre, they going to want you to get away from them. You're going to be wasting a lot of time. But if, like I say, you can be polarizing, be grand in your entrances and in your times when you're around, and you want to be cold when you're not around. You see what I'm saying? Because the mind runs wild when you're not in the presence of your significant other or the person that you're trying to woo. Now, the story that we have at hand is the story of Juan Paron. Now, Juan Paron was a colonel in the Argentinian army at a time in the mid 20th century when they took over Argentina. The military took over the government, which tended to happen a lot. Juan Paron was starting to be an old man. And what we start to see when we see women seducers, at least mentioned in this text and in some other literature, they kind of look at them as more so predators. You see what I'm saying? Like they have certain things that they want, and they search for the men that can give them those things. And we have a case of this with Eva Duarte. So Juan Paron, he had gone to Buenos Aires for an art festival. He went up, sat down. Now think about this. This is an old ass, powerful man. They had made him like secretary of something. He was like old ass man with a lot of power. He had power in the military. Military takes over the government. So now you have power in state and power in military. So this dude, old ass man, you know what I mean, can't tell him nothing. You know your old ass daddy. You can't tell him nothing. Now imagine this old ass dude got all this real power. Joe Biden type shit. So basically, he has a space that's allotted for him at this art festival. He's up in the stands. He's up in the rafters. He's looking. Old ass man, the bifocals. He's looking at the game. He's looking at what's going on with the art thing. And a couple beautiful actresses come up there. There was some weird stuff going on with him, man, already, because he was a widower, which means his wife had passed. But after his wife passed, he had a liking for young women, a well-known public liking for young women, to the point where his mistress or the woman he was dealing with after his wife passed, he used to openly call his daughter. Like he would, oh yeah, this is my daughter with me. Weirdo. I mean, these are different times. And it's kind of funny because we say these different times. Like I said, this is mid 20th century. So this is literally 1940s. We act like 1940s is 2,000 years ago because they was doing such crazy stuff. But it was literally, 70 years ago? You see what I'm saying? If you look at what was going on in the 1940s, you see what I'm saying? Even we talking about Argentina here, but you talk about black people in America, it was like almost a totally different era. You see what I'm saying? But, it was a different era, but you would think it's way back in the day, you know what I mean? But it's not. So two young actresses come sit down, and there's one actress who's younger and prettier than the other. But the other was Eva Duarte. And it's funny because, like Cleopatra, they say Cleopatra wasn't the prettiest woman of them all, but Cleopatra had that mouthpiece. That game puts you on a different level, man, whether you male or female. So Eva Duarte come up there and she got an eye on him. She looking at him, trying to be sugar baby out here. So she sit down and she basically just size him up. And she's like, thank you for everything you're doing. They hit it off, and she talk his head up. Oh, so I'm thankful for you being here. And XYZ, right? So she's already starting. You know what I mean? Already starting with the game. Shout out to her for the game. She had something she wanted and she went and got it because she had came up impoverished. You see what I'm saying? So as she came up impoverished, she started doing like radio soap operas. And then that's how she started buzzing in the area. So she's running away, but she got to secure the bag. It's different from getting the bag and then securing the bag. You see what I'm saying? You come from nothing, and the most powerful dude around you see what I'm saying? She running for that money, as she should. They was together every day from then for 2 years straight. Ava came in the scene, kicked the little mistress out, the little daughter, and now they going together strong. They going together for about 2 years strong. People looking and hating because Ava had influence in the nation. Everybody wanted to be like Ava. Ava was coming up. She's like mid 20th century Argentinian Zendaya or something like that. Zendaya say something, these young girls is running. You know what I mean? These young girls, she got the influence. She got beauty, the influence, the esteem, everything. So imagine that, young, because Ava she was like 23, 24 at the time. So imagine that. The high-ranking officials start hating on this dude because he was already popular. But imagine a very popular dude in the government. But it's not just the government because he was a high-ranking military official who took over the government. So those two things come together. He's already popular. And then he wipes up the most popular uprising figure on the woman's side of the game. So he has all that popularity come together. The officials are looking at that line. He getting too much buzz out here. We got to take him out. So they go and they put him in prison. Super hater. But they put him in, I'm not even going to say prison. They put him in jail because prison is a whole different story. People don't know the difference between prison and jail. Prison is normally a long stay. Jail is normally short stay. You like less than a year. So they put this dude in jail. He's sitting up in jail for 8 days. And his mind, this is the first time he had really been separated from Ava. Now, the thing with Ava was when they were together like I say, like every day for like 2 years. But the thing is, she's young. He's an old hand. He don't really get it. She's virtually unknowable to this older man. Like she's switching the game up. Some days she's talking kind of hard, making obscene gestures. Other days she's talking real soft. But at the same time, the running theme is she's giving this man everything he wants, everything he needs, taking care of this man. You see what I'm saying? He goes to jail. This dude is locked up for 8 days. And he in there writing love letters like, my immense solitude is filled up with your memory. And it's like, come on, bro. You in there for 8 days. Now, I understand what he's going through, though, because if you ever get locked, it don't matter if you in the most toxic relationship, you be thinking about shorty crazy. Like, all day, you just be, I wish I was with shorty. All this came together to help poeticize her presence. You know what I mean? She was there daily. Had big personality. He was never able to really pinpoint. You see what I'm saying? Like, we together every day. We sitting in, we watching TV all day. Yeah, I gotta go work. Come on. I'm watch TV all day. Nah, it wasn't like that. It was a roller coaster ride when they were together, and then they got ripped apart from each other. Hot when it's together, and then cold when it's apart. He in prison for 8 days crying. My baby out there. I mean, I'll do anything. I'll bury you. I'll do anything. He's in jail. The people are out there protesting and striking. They like, get this dude out of jail. He doesn't deserve to be locked up. Get him out. He do the 8-day bid, was in there crying. She leveraged that because she had wanted to be married. She wanted to be locked down with this dude the whole time. So he locks it down. He's like, he comes out. He gets out finally after 8 days, 8 long days. They had strikes. They had riots and everything. He gets out, marries her. She used her poetic presence, her hot and cold, her coquette type of way in order to get literally everything she wanted. So after the uproar, man, they're pushing him to the top. He was already there, but they're pushing him higher. They elect him president a couple months later, after they get him out of jail on some Nelson Mandela. A little while after he's elected president, she's first lady, whatever, she ends up going to Europe. And she goes to Europe and she moves around Europe and her popularity skyrockets. Literally imagine if Zendaya end up messing with a government dude and then he become president and then, you see what I'm saying? And then she go globetrotting, basically, like around the world. Like literally one of the most popular people, man, I would say probably on the planet at the time. Just out of here. All from her being able to poeticize her presence. That ended up propelling her to superstardom. You know what I mean? She was one of the biggest in the globe, all from entering the heart of this powerful person. She made things entertaining, and then when she was out, she was out. And that's what made him fall in love, was that low point, that absolute 0 point. Because he wasn't about to marry her, and she wanted to get married. He wasn't about to marry. He wasn't thinking about that. But when he went to jail and had to sit without her, he was like, let me lock this thing down, man. Like, I'm locked down. So unfortunately, sometime after she got back from Europe, she ends up passing away at 33 years old. Very young. Very young. And she passed away. This is another way her figure rose. She became an idol. And this is another way her presence was poeticized. Unfortunately, and a lot of people who died young, imagine a Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix burned extremely brightly, and his presence was up and down. When he came around, he created a huge impact on people, and he passed away really early. These people who pass away really early, you know what I mean? That's the coldest distance that you can have. People remember that impact. It's really serious. So if you can mimic that, and you come, strike, and then you get away from that person, just make sure everything you do means something, that is important. Mediocrity is the worst enemy of prosperity. You do not want to be average. Like I say, that's another running theme in this book that I've realized. You do not want to be average. But just like the way to coquette, the way to poeticize your presence is to not be there all the time. Things to do. You got to step out and you got to handle your business, but you can't just be on that person's hip all the time. That's not sexy. That's not seductive. That's not the way we going with. So once again, it's your boy Luz. Remember that, man.